Have you ever applied your concealer only to look in the mirror an hour later and see lines you never noticed before staring back at you? For so many women over 50, this tiny area under the eyes can feel like the one thing that instantly adds years. The truth is that creasing is not caused by age alone. It is caused by technique. Today, I will show you exactly how to fix it, and stay with me, because the final step changes everything. A well-prepared under-eye area stops creasing before your concealer even touches the skin. One of the biggest reasons concealer settles into fine lines is dryness. The skin under the eyes becomes thinner with age, and it loses the natural moisture that once kept everything smooth. When that delicate area is dehydrated, it grabs onto makeup and exaggerates every line. This is why so many women say they feel older with makeup on than without. It is not because you are doing anything wrong. It is simply because the skin is asking for a little more care. When the under eye is dry, even the best concealer will struggle. It can cling to texture and make the area look tight or tired rather than bright and refreshed. For many women, this leads to frustration because the more they try to fix it with extra product, the worse it looks. The emotional weight of this can be surprisingly heavy. Looking in the mirror and seeing dryness or creasing can make you feel like you have lost some of your glow. I want you to know this is completely normal and incredibly easy to fix. The solution begins with hydration that is light and fast absorbing. Thick creams can sit on the surface and cause the concealer to slip. Instead, use a small amount of a lightweight eye cream. Gently tap it under the eye and allow it to settle for a minute. You are not trying to create shine. You are simply giving the skin the moisture it needs so that makeup does not cling to dry patches. A good tip is to apply only as much product as your skin can drink in. If you see residue sitting on top after a minute, you can lightly tap away the excess. This prevents your concealer from mixing with too much cream and turning muddy. You can also check how the area feels by lightly pressing with your fingertip. It should feel smooth and comfortable rather than slippery. Once your hydration is in place, your concealer blends more evenly. The finish becomes softer. The under eye looks brighter. Most importantly, it feels like your skin rather than a layer of makeup sitting on top. That small change makes a remarkable difference in how confident and refreshed you look throughout the day. Preparing the skin this way sets the stage for everything that follows, and now we can move into the way you apply your concealer. The way you place and blend your concealer decides whether it smooths or settles. Many women over 50 apply concealer the same way they did years ago, and then wonder why it suddenly looks heavier. The truth is that placement matters just as much as the product itself. When concealer goes directly into the deepest part of your lines, it gathers there. This makes those tiny creases look more pronounced and can leave you feeling as if makeup is working against you. It creates that moment of disappointment when you look in the mirror and see texture instead of brightness. The emotional frustration is real. You want to look awake and lifted. You want your eyes to feel refreshed and open. Instead, the wrong placement can make the area appear tired or drawn down. It takes the joy out of putting on makeup and replaces it with a sense of defeat. If you have ever felt that way, please know you are not alone, and the solution is simple. Start by placing your concealer slightly lower than you think you need. Instead of applying it directly into the deepest crease, focus on the area just beneath it. This stops the formula from settling into the natural folds of the skin. It also lifts attention away from fine lines and helps create that soft, brightening effect mature eyes love. The second part is blending. A sponge is your best friend because it presses the concealer into the skin without dragging it. Light tapping motions melt the product in so that it becomes one with your complexion. This avoids streaks and prevents product from sitting on top of the skin where it can crack later. You only need a small amount of product. A thin, even layer always lasts longer and looks fresher than a thick one. A helpful technique is to flip the sponge to a clean side and use it to absorb any extra concealer. This tiny action prevents buildup and ensures nothing heavy sits in the lines. The result is a smoother and more natural finish that still gives you the coverage you want. Your under eyes look bright instead of cakey, and lifted instead of weighed down. Once your concealer is blended correctly, you have created a beautiful base, and now we can move into how to set it so it stays that way. If you are finding this helpful so far, tap like and subscribe. It really helps the channel and lets more women find these tips. Stay with me because the last point might surprise you. Clearing out extra concealer prevents lines from becoming deeper through the day. One of the most common reasons concealer creases is that a small amount of product gathers in the natural folds under the eyes before you even apply powder. This happens to every woman no matter how smooth or textured the skin may be. When you add setting powder on top of that buildup, you lock those lines into place. This can make you feel as if the makeup is highlighting age rather than softening it. It can be discouraging because the moment you see that crease appear, you may think your skin is changing faster than you expected. Many women tell me they assume it is their age or the quality of their concealer. In reality, the issue is simply excess product settling into a very normal line. The solution is a quick removal step that takes only a few seconds but transforms the way your makeup wears. After blending your concealer, look up slightly. This stretches the skin just enough to reveal any product that is collected. Take the tip of your sponge and gently tap along the crease. The sponge will lift off the extra concealer while leaving behind the perfect thin layer you want. This prevents thickness that later cracks or bunches. This step feels small, but it changes everything. It allows your concealer to sit on smooth skin rather than trapped product. It also helps your powder grip to an even surface, which gives you a clean, soft finish. When you try this, you will notice that your under eyes look fresher and the brightness lasts longer without that midday settling that can make you feel self-conscious. If you have deeper lines, this step becomes even more important because it keeps makeup from collecting in one place. It gives you the confidence of knowing your concealer will stay where you want it, instead of moving into the folds. Once that thin, even layer is ready, it is time to set it in a way that keeps it smooth. The right setting method locks in smoothness instead of locking in creases. Many women believe that creasing comes from the powder itself, when in truth the real issue is often how the powder is applied. Brushing powder over the under eye can create texture because the bristles move the concealer around. This leaves the surface uneven and causes makeup to settle into fine lines. It can feel disheartening to spend time creating a flawless base only to watch it break apart the moment powder touches it. This emotional frustration is real. You want your makeup to make you feel polished and put together. Instead, you see dullness or patchiness that draws attention to areas you hope to soften. It can feel like makeup is adding years instead of taking them away. I want you to know this is not your fault. It is a technique problem with a simple solution. The press and set method is the most reliable way to achieve a smooth and long-lasting finish. Instead of using a brush, use a soft puff. Pick up a tiny amount of powder and gently tap off the excess so the puff is not overloaded. Look up slightly to smooth the under eye. Press the powder directly into the skin with a light patting motion. You are not sweeping or dragging. You are stamping a thin veil of powder over the concealer to keep it in place. This method keeps everything exactly where you blended it. It also creates a blurred finish that helps the under eye look bright and rested. A very small amount of product goes a long way. You want the powder to set without looking heavy. If you see a dense layer, you can take a clean, fluffy brush and lightly sweep away the extra without pressing into the skin. When your powder is applied this way, your under eyes stay smooth for hours. It withstands movement heat and everyday activity without breaking apart. You feel confident knowing your makeup will look as fresh at the end of the day as it did when you applied it. Now that your concealer is properly set, we can look at why makeup sometimes breaks down later in the day. Knowing why creasing happens later helps you stop it before it starts. Even when your technique is correct, your makeup can still change throughout the day. The skin around the eyes is always moving, Every smile and every blink shifts the product slightly. As we move through our day heat and natural oils rise to the surface, humidity softens the finish of the powder. All of these tiny changes can make your concealer drift into fine lines, even if you applied everything perfectly in the morning. This can feel discouraging because many women assume the creasing is a sign that they are aging faster. In reality, it is your environment and your daily activity affecting the makeup. If you have ever checked your reflection and felt a wave of disappointment, please know it is normal for this area to move. You are not doing anything wrong. Your makeup simply needs the right foundation and the right amount of time to settle. The solution is allowing each layer to dry and bond to the skin. When concealer sits on top of wet skincare, it slides. When powder is applied, before the concealer has a chance to settle it, clumps. Taking an extra few seconds between each step makes your makeup more stable. You are helping the layers become one smooth surface instead of separate parts that push against each other. Another helpful approach is using lighter layers. Thick makeup breaks down quickly because it has more weight and more movement. Thin layers stay flexible, which means they can handle heat and expression without cracking. This also makes your under eyes look more natural and less coated. Once you understand this, you can approach your makeup with more confidence. You know it is not your age causing the problem. It is simply the way makeup behaves on active skin. With the right preparation, your under eye area stays smooth longer and looks fresh even in warm weather or long days. Now that you understand what causes breakdown, we can move into a gentle refresh technique that keeps everything looking bright. A soft midday touch-up keeps the under eye bright without adding heaviness. Many women reach for more concealer when their makeup starts to fade. This often makes the under eye look thicker and more textured. Adding new product on top of older product can cause a cakey finish that settles into lines even more than before. This is why so many women say they feel older by the afternoon than they did in the morning. It can feel frustrating to want a small lift, but end up making the area look worse. Some women avoid touching up altogether because they fear drawing attention to the texture under their eyes. If this sounds familiar, I want you to know there is a gentle way to refresh your makeup without adding weight. The solution is a micro refresh technique. Instead of applying more concealer, take a clean sponge and lightly tap the under eye area. This warms the makeup that is already there and smooths it back into place. You are not adding anything new. You are simply reactivating what you already applied earlier. This prevents buildup and gives you a natural, bright finish. If you do need a tiny bit of coverage, you can place a very small amount of concealer on the back of your hand and tap your sponge into it. The goal is to pick up almost nothing. A sheer layer brightens the skin without settling into lines. This works especially well for long days or warm weather when makeup softens naturally. The benefit of this method is that your under eyes stay fresh without looking overworked. You feel confident that you can refresh your face at any time without risking creasing. It brings back that smooth, bright look and keeps your makeup comfortable. Now that you have all the steps, it is time to close the video. Thanks for watching till the end. If this video helped, please like and subscribe for more. If you found this helpful, I promise the one on screen now will be a game changer for you.